Hey, welcome to the channel. Hopefully you find this video helpful. I got a Mercury Optimax 200 and I needed to replace the trim sender unit on here. So the first thing I did was pop that old trim sender off, and you can see when I took it off, it's got that little notch in the back, and it fits right in that groove there on top of that piston. That's how it works. When the piston goes up and down, it turns that, which sends it up to that gauge. Next thing I did was to take the wire harness off of there, off the mount there, get those wires free, and then that allowed me to move those wires around and see up inside the motor where my wires were coming in, so that I could figure out how I could get to them. You'll see throughout the video that the toughest part of this whole job was actually just getting the wires through and up into the motor. Here we're taking that the new sender unit, running the wires through the motor mount there. I'll come around to the other side here, and we're going to mount the new sender unit on there. Again, got to make sure that groove's lined up with that slot. And it can be a little tricky to get in there. I shortened up this part a little bit, honestly, because it took me a little bit fumbling around with it to get that fit in there good. It's a tight fit, but once you get in there, it's not too bad. So we'll just screw that on, and then we're ready for the next step, which is the hardest and longest step, which is getting those wires up into the motor. What I ended up doing was taping them on to the old wire, and I had to stagger it because there's two of them, and it's just such a small, there's a rubber grommet up in the bottom of the motor that you got to go through, and it's a really tight squeeze through there. There's multiple wires going through there. So I ended up kind of staggering them on that wire, and that worked for me after a couple of tries. But it was not a lot of fun. I won't lie, but it's doable. You just got to take your time and make sure you don't crimp any wires or scrape any the insulation off the wires or anything like that. So once I got them up through there, that's not the end of routing the wires, because I wanted them to route them the same way that the old wires were, which was back behind some other stuff. So that ended up in having to fool around in there a little bit with some needle nose pliers and try to get back behind that stuff and get them through there. But again, it's worth taking your time and doing it right. One of the other things I'll say is once you get the wires run through there and you're ready to plug everything in, you want to take your motor up and down so that you can make sure that you got enough slack where you need it, down on the part below the motor. That's what I'm doing here, just making sure I got enough slack, get my wires in there in the right spot before I start, putting the wire harness back on and things like that to put everything in its place. The last thing I did was the old unit was grounded right by the unit on the motor mount, outside of the motor. I instead created a jumper wire that I grounded right here inside the cowling, and then just plugged that into that ground wire that I had run up through there. Thought it was just a little better way to do it. So that is all there is to it. Hopefully this video is helpful for you, and tight lines.